Oh wait, Gran Hilde. Yo, come here. One of a kind treasure created by Ada. Recruit time. Okay, let's go. Let's get this particular Gran Hilde. Okay. So with that, we have recruited her for free. That means we can put Gran Hilde. Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another Brown Dust 2 video. Alright, today's video we're gonna talk about Gran Hilde. It's been about I would say 12 hours or so since she was released, and I have had a couple of chances to test her out, and hopefully, you know, if you guys waited for my review before you guys on the pool, yeah, this is that video for you guys. If you guys did pull for her, I think she is going to be a decent character overall, but she comes with a couple of issues. Alright, let me explain what problems she comes with and why some of you guys might want to consider avoid pulling for her. Now, keep in mind, before we start off, I just want you guys to be aware that a lot of characters, especially with Gran Hilde in this case, still can improve in the future. Alright, because like some characters have this thing called the I keep forgetting the name. What is it called? The potential liberation, right? And Gran Hilde doesn't have that. As you can see, this is my maid Leatrice, completely done, fully perfected. I think she's a very, very great character. And in fact, I would recommend her. Oh, I guess you can't really pull her anymore, but I think she's a better character for a lot of new players to start, right? So Gran Hilde is going to be a tank, a defender, right? I don't really recommend new players to pull for her. Now, as you can see, she doesn't have the potential liberation yet, so there's a chance that she would improve and be a much stronger character in the future. So let's talk about her issues right now. What have I encountered after testing her for a little bit? So this is the latest costume, the Void. Alright, so you can see she can actively, preemptively before the battle begins, she can activate this. She can also counter the physical, she also counters the enemies with up to 3 hits from the enemies of 200% receive damage. So obviously if you upgrade this from 200%, it's going to become 250%, and then you'll go to +2, it becomes, +2 becomes 5 hits, that's a big jump, and then +3 you get the 250% to 300%, and then you get like the counter damage increase, right? So it sounds really good, and it sounds insanely broken on paper, right? When I first look at the skill, I was like, this sounds super broken. But the more I use her, the more I test her, it's super situational actually. Let me show you guys a little bit of example. Let's talk about a couple of game modes that we have. So number one, we have let's say PvP. Alright, so let's jump into PvP right now. So if you guys have been trying to play PvP, you know Gran Hilde has 2 costumes. Alright, so this is the attack, you have attack formation and you have defense formation. Obviously when you are attacking, you're not going to be able to use this because it still consumes SP. And then you have the 5 SP, right? So if you are defending, now as a defender, you start with 6 SP. Alright, you are going to start with 6 SP. So you can see if you configure the schoolgirl one, the idol one, that will take 6 SP on itself. Alright, this one is going to consume 4 SP. And of course, unless you max them out, even if you max both of them out, you can't activate both. You won't have enough SP to activate both. You ideally can do this, right? But it will only choose one to activate, which is the priority. Alright, but I do recommend this one. So this one is still going to be the better one in PvP because this particular other costume, the idol costume, has taunt. Alright, this one, enemies are forced to attack you for 2 turns. Whereas this one, it doesn't have any taunt on you. So enemies can still ignore you and go and hit your other units, right? So unless you place it in a way that is like in line with the enemy's enemy's a damage dealer in that case, right? You're placed in that same row. But in most cases, no taunt, that's just a little bit finicky to use just because of that, right? So that's one thing that you will notice in PvP for sure. So by the way, they actually they did change this up. So make sure you guys toggle this accordingly in your defense formation, right? If you want to activate the other one, just make sure you activate the other one and just press save and do that accordingly. So that's for PvP. I think PvP on paper, I thought she was going to be insanely good there, but the problem is you cannot activate both costumes. You can activate both if you have enough SP, but there's no way for you to have enough SP. You only start out with 6. So round 1, that's not going to be a thing. Maybe in later rounds, sure, but there's just way better tanks for that. So that's out of the way. She's not really strong there. Now the other one that I can think of is the Last Knight, right? The Last Knight. So we're talking about in context of the Void right here. She's useless right here, right? Because the boss literally one-shots you. Your objective here, when you enter the Last Knight battle, is to go in, do as much damage as you can to the boss. Putting Grand Hilde here is not going to help you whatsoever. So she's not going to help you tackle this particular, this particular content. So that puts this out of the way. Now the third one is going to be for every 2 weeks, right? We're going to have this thing called the Fiend Hunter, right? Now, she's pretty much useless here as well. I wouldn't say useless. She can be used here for sure, right? But most of the boss from the Fiend Hunter boss will be able to hit your entire team. So she doesn't really protect your team from dying in that sense, right? She is there to basically try to reflect some damage whatsoever. And you can see regardless in this particular area, the boss is going to have his own pattern and try to hit you. She's also not super incredibly strong right here as well. So if you are pulling for Grand Hilde, you're pretty much pulling for a story, alright? And I don't think she's a bad unit overall. I just think there are some issues, some conditions that makes her less extremely restrictive to use. Let me jump into the Evil Castle and show you guys. Now, this is one stage, one scenario that maybe we can try to showcase her potential, her strength. So look at the enemies here. They have about 17,000 HP, 21,000 HP, quite high HP, right? And if I start the battle, right? So let me just, as you can see, if I've already started the battle, and you can see I've already activated both preemptive skill. So that means the enemy is going to taunt, focus on me, and I will be able to at the same time reflect the attack as well from this other costume. 200% damage received. So I'm going to go with Helena right here, and then we're going to go with this. Try to get rid of the front enemies. And I'll show you guys a little bit of an issue that maybe some of you guys might encounter as well. So mid Latrice, boom, she's really strong. Alright. Okay. So now this guy is gonna come. Oh wait. He's not gonna attack me. So he's just gonna stay there, buff himself. And you will run into a lot of these issues where that will happen. Alright. Grand Hilde is just there, sitting there, waiting for enemies to hit you before you're able to reflect the damage. I think the damage reflected is not bad actually, it's kind of decent. Let's see if I can show it. Obviously, the more damage you receive, the more damage is going to be reflected upon the enemy, right? So again, let's show you one condition. You know what? I'm just gonna go battle start. I'm not gonna activate any of my skills. And you can see for yourself in some of these situations, right? Boom. So let's wait for the enemy to hit me. Come on. Somebody's got to hit me, right? Oh, guess what? They're all buffing themselves. Nobody's hitting me. So who's gonna hit me? Oh, this guy. Okay. Okay, so I did manage to reflect him. But you can see that's less than 1k damage. That's less than 1000 damage. Because this guy doesn't do that much damage either, right? So you will definitely run into a lot of these issues with this particular costume for Grand Hilde the Void. I think at least based on now, based for the current stage of the game, I don't think it's really hard to use her. And I can't think of any situation, except for PvP, where I think she shines and excels right there. So let's have a look at this guy. Is he going to do a lot of damage? Okay, he's coming. Okay, he did about 12,000 damage to himself. You guys saw that? That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. But again, very conditional, right? It relies on your enemy to hit you, right? And that in itself is kind of like, okay, if enemy has a buff, you also run into an issue where if the enemy hit you for very little damage, the reflect is also very little damage. And if you're looking for damage, you might as well just pull for a damage dealer or a damage dealing character. So for the time being, I just think this is extremely niche, and she doesn't really shine in particular. So those are definitely the few gripes that I can think of with her. However, she is free. You should still consider recruiting her from the tavern, right? She's definitely one of the better characters. I wouldn't say she's one of the better, actually. If I were to recommend to new players coming to the game, I would say Olstein, Diana, Leatrice is still going to be the better one. So definitely those are the ones that I will put priority upon. So make sure you guys are aware of that. So yeah, for any new players watching this, especially the newish players, you might want to hold on from Grand Hilde for the timing. She is not going to be limited, so you can always get her, spook her in the future. So say for the next coming character, right? I do think that her, what is this? Exclusive equipment, exclusive gear is going to be pretty good. But other than that, yeah, don't waste too much of your tickets on her, because for the time being, extremely niche character. I just got an Ingrid UR gear. In fact, I do think that Rubia is better for a newer player. Alright, if you are somewhat new-ish, you didn't play since day one, that might be the one to consider. Grand Hilde, I can see some veteran players will be able to take advantage of her, for sure, if you already have the other costume. But for most new players, it's like, there's just better tanks out there. There's just better defenders. Like even Fred might have more usage for the timing if your account is new. So yeah, that's my perspective overall regarding the Void Grand Hilde. Let me know if you guys are able to find any useful scenarios that she can excel at. If you guys agree or disagree, hey, let me know in the comment section below. As always, subscribe if you guys haven't already, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.